Hello everybody, my name is Vanessa and I'm at the Zoshin Retreat Center with my teacher, Zoshin Khenpo Shogai Rinpoche, and my Sangha members. So he's asked me to teach on how powerful thinking is for, not just for ourselves, but also on our body and then also for other people around us or all beings around us. So one really important thing is, just to get this across, our thinking is the most powerful stuff out there. It's crazy. It really is. Do you think it's not powerful?
It's powerful.
Who's thinking that? Your thinking is thinking that. Ha ha. Ha ha. So most people think that their negative thinking is not harming themselves. So that's really, really harmful to not know that. So this is a very harmful misunderstanding, because every single thought is directly affecting ourselves, our body, and everybody around us. A perfect example is given by a professor from Stanford, Robert Sapolsky, which actually wrote a book on why zebras don't get ulcers. So he explains in the book how every thought that an animal thinks creates a chemical reaction. So for example, when we're confronted with life-threatening situations, or when a zebra is confronted with life-threatening situations, he enters a flight and fight response, which causes the release of chemicals. So that makes it easier for the zebra to get away, or to get away and then also to fight, of course. So the secret with the zebra is that when he releases these chemicals, he actually does a physical action. So he runs for his life, or his body gets rid of these chemicals. They don't just stay in his body. So people, on the other hand, we don't really know this. So with each type of thinking, different chemicals get released in our body. So when we get worried or fearful, we actually release adrenaline. So this causes our arteries to dilate, our liver to actually release sugar, which gives us more energy. Our heart our heart rate starts to increase. Our blood flow actually increases. And so all these things are good in a necessary situation. Like if your life was in danger, or you needed to fight or run away. Fight and run away. But our bodies still produce these same chemicals, whether it's an emergency or imaginary. So many people get worried or fearful over things like the fluctuation of the economy, the swine flu. So we sit around and think negative things about all these situations. And we never think that it's affecting us are affecting our bodies or our thinking. So we never actually do a physical action like the zebra does when we feel this way, so all these chemicals actually become damaging. We create our own illusory worry, so we always worry over these illusions. We get emotionally involved to things and it affects us even more. So for example, a scary movie. Like we're really into a scary movie, we actually get really scared. Like to the point where you're going to go to bed at night and you're like afraid that the monster's going to get you. So that's one way, it's a good example of how we shouldn't get so involved in all these imaginary situations. So there's a real good reason for every negative thinking. It fools us. So we actually start to trip out. So since adrenaline actually makes our body go into overdrive, we actually decrease our immune system, which actually makes us more vulnerable to illnesses and diseases. So it'd be much more beneficial to use all these situations, like worldly economy, our favorite sports, getting too involved in those relationships, and actually use them to practice positive thinking. So I'm not saying to be oblivious or blind about your thinking or your feelings. I'm just telling you to like really analyze them and examine them. So if you could do something about it, then we should do it, right? We should fix our worries, not just like ignore them. But if we can't do something about them, then worrying isn't going to fix anything. There's no reason to actually sit and worry. It's useless. So beware of how your thinking is affecting your body and your whole life. So not only does your thinking affect you, but it affects everybody around you also. It ripples throughout the entire world. Your positive thinking is literally the cause of your happiness and the condition of all beings' happiness. And the other side is your negative thinking, of course, is the cause of your suffering and the condition of all beings' suffering. So your thinking is very powerful, whether you know it or not. And I have a great example. So when I was working with an animal rescue, and a lady had a dog who had many problems. The dog was aggressive towards other people, aggressive towards her. So this lady's life was kind of like distraught, very in shambles, you could say. So she came to us for help, and we helped her. And not only was this dog actually in mental distress, but also physically. This dog had tumors and was overweight. So she had tumors throughout her body. We got to take the dog home, and this was like our first case where we actually had to take a dog to our house to work with him because the conditions at home were like too extreme. So we took the dog to our house, and we just rehabilitated him. We taught them a more peaceful state, worked with their body, and did like a lot of meditation with the dog. And like throughout like 3 weeks, the dog actually started to lose weight, and the tumors actually decreased. So this was really powerful for the owner to see that like she was actually supporting the dog's cause to suffer and setting like all these conditions. So it's really powerful for us too to understand that with positive thinking we could actually help others and set really good conditions. So usually, so your thinking is also the condition for everybody. That's like really important to hold on to. So please practice positive thinking. Please decrease your negative thinking. So this is really important. I really want you guys to hold on to this. So in the Buddha Path, page 120, it talks about, sorry, it's a new book. The attitude of a Dharma practitioner. This is really important. Listen. When I am troubled, I am happy to practice fearless peace. When I am sick, I am happy to purify negative thinking. When I am healthy, I am happy to accumulate merit. So one thing to remember is there's no way to help yourself without helping others. And there's no way to help others without helping yourself. So go ahead and start practicing positive thinking. Thank you.